Hello lovelies, my name is Ifeoluwa and you're welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I went about the cutting and the sewing of the gown you see on the thumbnail. And if this is something you're interested in learning, you'd want to hit on the subscribe button to subscribe to this channel for more sewing tutorials like this. So guys, let's move to the drafting table. Now the first thing you need to do is to go ahead to draw out your starting line, and after which you go ahead to input your vertical measurement. So I'll go ahead to input my shoulder to bust point, which is 9 inches, my shoulder to under bust, which is 12 inches, and my shoulder to waist for the front, which is 16 inches. And after that, the next thing to do is to draw a line across each point, just as you see me doing. Then I'll label this part the bust, here the under bust, and here the waist. So after that, you come to the starting line and go ahead to input your shoulder measurement divided by 2. Then you also mark your neck width of 3 inches. Then from this point here where you mark your shoulder, you come down by 1 inch and link it back to the neckline like this. After that, I'll go ahead to input my armhole depth. So I'm using the armhole depth of 7 inches. And after which I'll draw a line across this point. Then this new point is going to be the chest line. So now on the chest line, I'll go ahead to mark my shoulder measurement divided by 2, which is 7 inches. Then I'll connect it upward just like this. So after that, I'll go ahead to mark the midpoint of this armhole depth, which is 3.5. Then from the midpoint, I'll go in by 0.5. Then I'll move to the chest line and go ahead to mark my bust measurement divided by 4, which is 8 inches. Now I'll take my curve ruler and connect the 3 points together. So after that, the next thing I'm going to do is you come to the bust line and go ahead to input your bust span divided by 2, and you place the same measurements on the under bust and also on your waistline. After which you connect all points together to form a straight line like this. Now you come to the shoulder part and go ahead to measure what you have on this shoulder and mark the midpoint. After marking the midpoint, you connect it to the bust points like this. So now to the point going to the center front, you go ahead to mark half an inch, which is 0.5. Then to the part going to the front side, you are going to mark 1 inch. But if you are on a bigger side, you go ahead to mark 1.5. Then connect the points like this. So from the bust point, you are going to come down by half an inch. Then go ahead to draw your curve like this. After that, the next thing to do is to input your horizontal measurement. So on the chest line, I went ahead to mark my bust measurement divided by 4 plus 1.5, which is going to serve as the seam allowance. Then on the waistline, I went ahead to mark my waist measurement divided by 4 plus this 1.5, which is the dart intake, and additional 1.5, which is going to serve as the seam allowance. After which I'll connect all points together like this. So now for the bust dart, I went down by 1 inch and link it back to the bust point like this. Now I'll go ahead to shade this part, which is the part I'm going to cut off. For the neck design, you are going to come down by 5.5. So I went ahead to mark 5.5, and after which I drew a line across the points like this. So now from this your shoulder, you go ahead to draw a straight line down to touch that 5.5. So make sure your ruler is placed straight and draw a straight line like this. So now from that point, you go ahead to draw a curve. Depending on how curvy you want the sweetheart neckline to be, so you're going to place your curve and link it to join that point like this. So this is what we have. Now to tighten this upper part, I'm going to go ahead to mark 0.25 on both sides. So I'll mark 0.25 on both sides, then I'll link it back to the bust points just as you see me doing. After that, I'll go ahead to shade all these parts I'm going to cut off. So I'm going to go ahead to add half an inch on the shoulder line, which is for the seam allowance. The next thing to do is to close up the bust dart, and to do so, I'm going to go ahead to slash open this bust line. After slashing it open, I'll come to the shoulder line and also go ahead to slash it open. After slashing it open, I'll go back to close up the bust dart. So for closing up the bust dart, you can decide to use your masking tape or use a gum to put it in place. So I'm going to go ahead to open it up. Just make sure while slashing this part, it not slash through the line. So after slashing it, I'll use my gum to go ahead to close up this dart part. So after closing up the bust dart, you find out that this part here is not well aligned. All you just have to do is to go ahead to blend it up. So you blend it up, then go ahead to cut out your pattern.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night.
After cutting out the pattern, this is what you should have. Now let's move to the back pattern. For the back piece, I'm going to have to mark 1 inch for the zipper allowance. Now I'm going to draw my starting line. After drawing the starting line, I went ahead to mark my armhole depth, which is 8 inches, and my shoulder to waist for the back, which is 15 inches. After which, I'm going to draw a line across each point. Now I'm going to move to the starting line and go ahead to mark my shoulder measurement divided by 2, which is 7. And from this point here, I'm going to go down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. After which, I'm going to link it back to the neck like this. So I'll label it as the chest line and here the waistline. So on the chest line, I go ahead to mark my shoulder measurement divided by 2, which is 7, and I'm going to connect it upward. So after that, I'm going to measure what I have on the armhole and mark the midpoint. After marking the midpoint, I'm going to go in by 0.5. Then on the chest line, I'll go ahead to mark my bust measurement divided by 4, which is 8. Then I'll take my curve ruler and connect the 3 points together just as you see me doing. Then I'll come to the chest line and go ahead to mark my bust span divided by 2 and place the same measurement on my waistline. After which, I'm going to connect the 2 points together to form a straight line. Then for my dart intake, I'm going to come to the waistline and go ahead to mark half an inch on both sides. Then on the chest line, I'm going to come down by half an inch. After which, I'll go ahead to draw my dart. After that, I'll come to the chest line and go ahead to mark my bust measurement divided by 4 plus 1.5, which is going to serve as my seam allowance. Then on the waistline, I went ahead to mark my waist divided by 4 plus 1 inch, which is going to serve as that, and additional 1.5 for the seam allowance. After which, I'll connect all points together just as you see me doing. So now on this waistline for the tightening of the back, I'm going to go in by half an inch. Then from that half an inch, I'm going to go ahead to mark 1 inch, which is going to be for my zipper allowance. After which, I'm going to link it back to the chest line just as you see me doing. So after that, I'm going to bring my front piece and go ahead to measure what I have on the shoulder. I'm going to place it on the back piece like so. I'm going to mark the exact measurement I got. Is either you use this method or you go ahead to place your front piece on your back piece like so and go ahead to mark exactly where the front shoulder stops on the back shoulder. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say here. So after marking my shoulder, I'm going to take my curve ruler and go ahead to draw the back neckline. So you can decide to give your back neckline any design of your choice. And after that, I'll go ahead to add half an inch on the shoulder. This is for the shoulder seam allowance. After adding the seam allowance, I'm going to take my front piece again to confirm if the shoulders are the same. And after confirming that the front shoulder and the back shoulder are of the same wideness, I'm going to go ahead to cut out my pattern.
The night's young, it has just begun. As she puts her hand in mine, we wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild, never sleep, never stop.
Now the front pattern and the back patterns are ready, and if you go ahead to put in the front side and the back side together, you find out that you have the same length. Now let's go ahead to cut out our fabric. For the fabric, while using my pattern to cut it out, I added half an inch on the armhole side, the neckline, and this side there, and also on the waistline. Same thing for the back piece, I added half an inch on the armhole side, the neckline, the zipper allowance, and also on the waistline. Don't forget we've added half an inch on the shoulder and also on the side. So this is it. I've gone ahead to iron my gum stay to the fabric, and I've also gone ahead to cut out the lining pieces of my dress. Now to the sewing part, I'm going to take the front panels and go ahead to pin them together.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals they take us higher. The night's young, it has just begun. As she puts her hand in mine, we wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild, never sleep, never stop. As we shout from the top, we're gonna be two hearts running wild.
So after pinning it, you are going to have something like this. Now I'll go ahead to sew down the front panels together, the back pieces, and also the lining. So guys, this is what I have after joining the front panels and the back panels together, and I've also attached my lining. So while attaching the lining for the back piece, I went ahead to attach just the neckline and the side. Can you see? So now don't forget, for my front piece, I've gone ahead to sew down the armhole line, the neckline, the two sides together. It's only the down part and the shoulder that is opened. Now I'm going to place the back piece on my front piece like so, and after that I'm going to open it up like this and go ahead to sandwich the front piece inside the back piece. Just watch exactly how I'm placing mine. So after placing the front shoulder inside the back shoulder, I'm going to go ahead to pin it. So after pinning it like this, I'm going to take the front piece and sandwich it inside the back pieces like so. So after that, I'm going to go ahead to sew down the shoulders, the armhole part, and also the sides. So can you see, these are the parts I'm going to go ahead to sew down, and I'll do the same thing to the other side. After that, I'll come back to show you. So guys, this is it after sewing down the two shoulders together, and also the armhole side, the sides of the back pieces, and the front pieces. I've also gone ahead to close up my zipper allowance and sew in my darts for the back. You can see that I went ahead to close up the armhole for the front and the back pieces, and I've also gone ahead to close up the two sides together. I attached the upper part to the down part, just as you can see, and don't forget on the front piece there's a slit at the skirt part. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead to stitch down the two sides, the front and the back pieces together. After stitching the two sides together, I'm going to add my zip, then I'll also go ahead to hem the down part. Now guys, this is the final look of our dress, as you can see. And if this video was helpful, show some love by hitting the like button and sharing your thoughts in the comments below. Also, do not forget to hit on the subscribe button, subscribe to this channel for more sewing tutorials like this, and turn on your notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my future content. So guys, thank you for watching.